Before we begin, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to hear isn't just another disappearance. It's a story about how a simple mistake, a wrong turn, can change everything. This is She Knocked on the Wrong Door and Vanished. It was a rainy night in October 2019 when 22-year-old college student Megan Hart left her friend's apartment in rural Kentucky. She'd spent the evening studying for midterms, drinking coffee, and planning her drive home to her parents' house just 20 minutes away. It was close to midnight when she grabbed her keys, waved goodbye, and said she'd text when she got home. That text never came. Megan's last confirmed activity was captured on a nearby gas station camera at 12:03 a.m. She bought a bottle of water, smiled at the cashier, and walked back to her car. Nothing seemed unusual. From there, her phone's GPS showed her taking the back roads, a familiar route she'd driven dozens of times. But halfway home, the signal stopped. At 12:47 a.m., her phone went dark. Around 1:15 a.m., a neighbor in a small cul-de-sac called 911, reporting a woman knocking frantically at a front door. She looked scared, the neighbor said. She was soaking wet, crying. But before I could get to the door, she ran off. The call was logged, but by the time deputies arrived, the woman was gone. The homeowner's doorbell camera caught part of the scene, a blurred figure in a hoodie, knocking 3 times before glancing over her shoulder and sprinting into the rain. The timestamp read 1:14 a.m., just 27 minutes after Megan's phone shut off. The next morning, her car was found about 2 miles away, parked on a muddy shoulder. The driver's door was unlocked. The keys still in the ignition. Her purse and phone were missing. Investigators found only one strange detail, a folded piece of paper on the passenger seat with the words "Help ME" written in smeared ink. At first, police thought it was a prank or a coincidence. But when they checked the nearby homes, residents confirmed they'd heard screams between 1 and 2 a.m. Yet no one saw anyone else out there. No vehicles. No lights. Nothing. Megan had vanished into the night. The search began immediately. Hundreds of volunteers combed the surrounding woods and creeks. Drones, dogs, and dive teams found no trace of her. Detectives interviewed friends and family, uncovering nothing unusual in her life. She wasn't running from anyone. No ex-boyfriends, no debts, no conflicts. It was as if she'd been plucked from the earth. But there was one clue investigators nearly overlooked. 2 days before her disappearance, Megan had posted a short clip on social media, just a few seconds of video showing her driving through those same back roads. She joked about how dark and quiet it was, captioning it, "The middle of nowhere vibes." When police reviewed her phone data, they discovered that same area was where her signal vanished. The community was shaken. For weeks, flyers bearing her smiling face were taped across town. Local media dubbed her the girl who vanished in the storm. Theories exploded online. Some thought she'd been kidnapped, others believed she'd fallen victim to a hit-and-run. But the truth was stranger. 3 weeks later, deputies received a call from a man hiking near an abandoned property 5 miles from where her car was found. He'd spotted something metallic glinting in the dirt. It was Megan's phone, water-damaged but intact. Forensic analysis revealed the last text she'd attempted to send: "I think someone's following me." It was sent at 12:41 a.m., 6 minutes before her GPS went dead. Investigators retraced her route and discovered tire tracks leading into a narrow side road, one that didn't appear on any map. Locals said it used to lead to an old mill that had burned down in the 1980s. Nothing remained there except foundations, rusted machinery, and the skeletal frame of a house. When police arrived, they found fresh footprints in the mud. One set belonged to a woman. The other, larger, heavier, followed close behind. Detectives canvassed nearby security cameras again, searching for passing cars that matched Megan's timeline. Around 12:32 a.m., a vehicle resembling a white pickup truck appeared twice, once heading north, once returning south 15 minutes later. Investigators identified the owner, a 44-year-old man named Raymond Brewer, a local mechanic with prior assault charges. When questioned, Brewer claimed he was just driving around that night. But when detectives checked his truck, they found traces of mud identical to that near the mill site. Forensics matched them. He was brought in for further questioning. When confronted with the evidence, Brewer changed his story. He admitted to seeing a stranded car by the side of the road that night. "She waved me down," he said. Said she needed help. He claimed he offered to drive her to town, but she panicked and ran off. "I never touched her," he insisted. But his alibi fell apart. Phone records placed him at the location where her car was found at 12:52 a.m., 7 minutes after her phone went offline. Still, without physical evidence, investigators couldn't make an arrest. Brewer was released. The search continued. Months passed. Then, in late January 2020, a property owner half a mile from the old mill called police after discovering a piece of fabric tangled in his fence line. It was a torn section of hoodie to gray, with faint traces of blood. DNA confirmed it belonged to Megan. The case was reclassified as a suspected homicide. Police returned to the area, excavating around the property and nearby woods. They found nothing else, no remains, no further evidence. Brewer moved out of town weeks later. The investigation stalled again. In 2022, a cold case detective reviewing archived data noticed something strange. The doorbell footage from that night, Megan knocking, then fleeing, had a reflection in the window beside the door. Enhanced analysis revealed a faint shade behind her. A second figure. Taller, darker, standing at the edge of the porch. That footage had been viewed dozens of times before, but no one noticed it until then. When the image was enhanced, the outline resembled a man wearing a baseball cap. Detectives compared it to Brewer's driver's license photo. The resemblance was undeniable, but still not conclusive enough for an arrest. The mystery of what happened after she ran from that door remains unsolved. Some believe she was taken in the woods and buried where searchers never reached. Others think she escaped and fell victim to exposure or a second crime. Her parents still keep her bedroom as it was the night she left, clothes folded, backpack ready for school. Her mother says she still receives calls from strangers claiming to have seen Megan at rest stops and bus stations across the country. None have been verified. In 2024, true crime documentarians returned to the area to film a special on Megan's case. They visited the cul-de-sac where she knocked for help. The homeowner refused to speak on camera, saying only one thing: "Every time it rains, I think about her." The doorbell camera still works, but the owner disconnected notifications years ago. "I can't stand the sound of knocking anymore," she said. It's haunting, in its simplicity, the echo of that last desperate moment. The case of Megan Hart stands as one of Kentucky's most chilling unsolved mysteries. A girl who drove home in the rain, took a wrong turn, and vanished. Somewhere out there, someone knows what really happened between that doorbell ring and the silence that followed. And maybe one day, the truth will come to light, but until then, she remains a ghost of the storm, knocking on a door that the world never opened. If this story left you breathless, hit subscribe, tap the bell icon, and join me next time, because the next story begins in the back seat of a taxi that never made it home.